I'm slowly working on getting a setup here where I can film more videos. Yeah, slowly getting together, trying to get the audio working where I can layer audio and sounds together, record at the same time, something like this. Let's see here. All right, so I'm trying to film a little intro here about my little synth channel, right? I wanted to be like some sort of chill, creative opinion piece type thing. So this is really the piece of gear that started the whole thing, right? Because I might have had larger, better gear, and there's a lot of better gear. A lot of people really hate this device, and I just found myself using it so much more than anything else, just because the ease that I could just grab it, turn it on, and go. Right? Here's the unit. Korg Electribe 2. This thing, I thought about selling it, and then just decided to, over time, start using it more and more, just because it was so easy to turn on and use. I could use it anywhere, sitting on the sofa, laying in bed, whatever. Throw it in a backpack. It's about the same size as a laptop. I mean, it's a little big for handheld, but yeah, take it anywhere. You're waiting on something, sitting in the lobby, pull it out, pull on some headphones, go, create something. And that's something that I think isn't really factored in when we talk gear, because everyone, hates on this thing. But the fact that I can just pull it out and use it like that, I just powered it up and I'm off and running. That's why I like it. And that's kind of what this channel's about. I'm not going to stick to any like tight rules that say that like it has to be this size or smaller, but really like this size containing batteries. All right. This size with batteries, if it's smaller and has a power adapter, all right, I'll still check it out. But this is kind of like what I think about. This is the size that I like. So like I was trying to say earlier, this is the synth that really the groove box. This is the Korg Electribe 2. This is what really inspired me getting into smaller gear. The story goes like this. I had a lot of gear. I actually was looking for a MIDI controller to control rack mount sampler. And it was between this and possibly a BeatStep Pro or BeatStep. I didn't really need it for CV or anything else. And this was on sale. I think the sampler version had just come out. So they were selling these original Electribe 2s for a price that was really close to that of the BeatStep. So I ended up getting the Electribe 2 over the BeatStep Pro. And didn't really like it at first. I don't know. It works okay as a MIDI controller. Honestly, for the price they're going for in the used market, it's a pretty good MIDI controller. But for what I wanted I was kind of disappointed in it. But I thought it was cool. It came with all these sounds and such. And I played around with it and the basic synthesis. And, it's really simple. You get to the end real quick and you're like, oh, okay, that's it. And pretty soon I wrote it off. Like, it's hard to escape this sort of sound that it has. And I wasn't that into it. And I even contemplated selling it. But then as time went on, maybe just have a little 10 minutes here or something like that. And some time to kill. So throw on the gear real quick. It's a lot easier than powering up the whole studio. Just grab some headphones, grab the Electribe, keep some rechargeable batteries in it, turn it on, and go. It was just so easy to use. And eventually I started to find my way around the limitations and started to craft sounds that are a little better. It feels like it gives you just enough. On the surface level, it's kind of hard to really get anything good out of it, but you scratch a little deeper, and I think you can find some cool stuff. Because that's what I think. Yeah, there's a couple things about it that annoyed me, but you get used to it, and then in time, I started to like it. This turned into the thing I would grab the most. I just literally spent the most time on it because you could have it with you and, just like I said before, throw it on real quick to jam for a little bit, and then before you know it, you just have more time invested in this than any of your more fancy gear that with more features. And also, I feel like I'm always been a big fan of that, like, limitations spawn creativity. That's gonna be like one of my catchphrases. Limitations spawn creativity. So, like, the quicker you can figure something out, the sooner you can get to the creative part, right? If you can't figure out how to ride a bike, it's hard for you to start doing tricks on the bike. Or, like a skateboard. If you can't figure out a skateboard, you're going to have a hard time doing tricks on a skateboard. So you got to know the basics first. So something like this is so simple, you can learn the basics pretty quickly, and then you can start to explore, well, what if I did this? What if I did that? And really start to flip it and find some tricks. Yeah, so like I said, it just became so easy. It's really not a tricky device. It's pretty simple, but there are enough like little oddities about it and things that you have to work around that it spawns creativity. So anyways, this is where my love for small synths began, is with this thing. And while it is a groove box, basically I'm going to do this channel about little portable gear that I can sit on the sofa and learn, or take with me on a trip and put some more time into and learn. And I actually prefer things that are kind of limited, so I can hit that wall and start to get creative with it and try to squeeze something interesting out of it. But most of the time that's what happens when you have a smaller piece of gear. It doesn't have the capabilities of some of the bigger stuff, and a lot of people write it off as just a toy or not very good, but in reality, most all gear these days is really good. It's just figuring it out or getting the sound you want out of it rather than what maybe it seems like it wants to give you. If that makes sense. Getting the sound out of it that you want versus what it wants to give you. So yeah. When people shop gear or think about gear or whatever, they generally count out the portability and the easy use, the accessibility, right? Like, I'm guilty as anybody. You look at all the features, what it can do, what it can't do, and you often write off the simple stuff that can't do a lot, and are attracted to the things that seem like you can keep you interested or spur more creativity with all its features and all this and all that. But the creativity a lot of times is more within you, or yeah, it's more within you and trying to get that thing that's in your head out. than it is the gear itself. I mean, I can admit that whenever I get new gear, I get inspired by learning how to use it, that it teaches you more like ways to work and inspires you. But definitely the easy use is like the thing that is people don't count on, right? So like you might have some crazy complicated modular synth, but can you imagine like on a modular synth step into it fresh and you're like, oh, I got 15 minutes to spare, I'm gonna try and put together something, and you're just like patching cables and all this and all that. Like I've seen some people where they got to patch for a good 5 minutes before they get any sound at all. But if your goal is to make music, I definitely would suggest something like this over something like getting into modular or something like that. Like let's say you're getting into modular and you're on a budget. Those words don't really go together, but you're going to have to collect all these modules before you can even start, where this, you're kind of one and done. And yeah, highly recommend it. We're going to talk about little machines that are easier to pick up and go. It sounds weird, but I really enjoy making music sitting on the sofa, making music sitting in a coffee shop, making music laying in bed. And I know you're like, oh, why not just do it on a laptop, or you could even do it on a cell phone. And I probably will cover some cell phones and some of the apps that I like that are on phones, because you can make music on phones. But the reason why I like little gear and little synths is that tactile feeling, right? The idea that you can just it just that two hands, the way you can move about it is just faster. You can develop the muscle memory, and you can just the creativity flows better for me. You know, I make dance sort of oriented rhythmic music, and so I need to feel that motion and get into it. Yeah, so it's got to be rhythmic to me. So that's why I really enjoy something a little more hands-on like this with the knobs. So yeah, hope to come out with more videos. Hope to really get this recording and streaming thing. I'd like to do streaming at some point in time with like a chat window if I could get the channel off the ground, get some followers. If anyone's even interested, love to chat with you. Yeah. All the usual YouTuber stuff, right? If you enjoy it, subscribe, leave me a comment, let me know what you'd like to see. If you have any questions, let me know your opinions. Let's go. So yeah, I learned to really love this thing, really work with it, and it's become one of my favorite pieces of gear. Let's see here. So I'm gonna try and like learn this whole YouTube thing and put together a flow of how I want my videos to go. But I want it to be this sort of like chatting about the gear, but also playing and jamming and being creative with it at the same time. I'm new to this, so I definitely find that it's difficult for me to do the two. You know, like if I'm start working the machine, my brain sort of have a hard time talking, so I just got to do it, talk later. So yeah, there's that. Yeah, so that's pretty much that.